Alright, so last night, Melissa goes to take a shower. It was about 11 o'clock last night. It was pretty late. I was already in bed playing on my phone, getting ready to go to sleep. Melissa goes to take a shower. There's no hot water. So she comes in there, tells me. I get up, come in here, open the door. I just assumed the pilot light had went out for some reason. Come in, open the door. This drip pan's full of water. And it's not only full of water, it's overflowing. All back there by the air conditioner. I'll point out by the air conditioner. We'll get to that later. All that's full of water. So I automatically know the drain line's clogged here. But where's the water coming from is an issue. I check all the connections on the top. There's no water up there. This is the pressure release valve. Don't find any water there. No water here. And so I start thinking, okay, well, crap. This new hot water heater is leaking. It's like 8 months old. It was installed when we bought the house, which has not been very long ago. So the pilot light was out. I used my shop vac. I drained all the water out with my shop vac. And it had been raining yesterday. The old hot water heater, it was raining a lot when we were closing on the house. Closing took forever for this house, so I had plenty of opportunities to come in and look around before we could move in. The old hot water heater, after it rained one time, there was a bunch of water on the top, where water had actually come through the vent stack and accumulated on the top here. So I thought, well, maybe it rained, water come through, ran through, because if you don't know, you have a tank inside your hot water heater, and then you have this outer covering which keeps the hot water heater insulated. So I thought, well, maybe the water came through, went around that, dripped down, put out the pilot light, and then accumulated down here. So vacuumed the water out, started the pilot light back up. I'm sitting here watching it, and I start seeing drips of water coming down. So I decided, shut it off, it's leaking. Turned off the gas, turned off the water. I talked to the plumber that I work with at work. I do maintenance for a living, for anybody that doesn't know. And I talked to him. He said the dripping in here is actually normal, in that it finally kicked off. Okay, so he said the dripping in there is actually probably normal. He said what happens is the tank on the inside, when it's cooled off, it's cold water in that tank, and then the fire kicks on, you heat up the air around the tank, you get condensation, because then you got cold water with hot air on the outside, just like a cup of water. You get condensation, and then the condensation starts to drip. So that actually made me feel better, because then I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's actually condensation, it's not leaking. So where'd the water come from? Because I know it's not rain. Because whenever I got home, it didn't rain today, it rained yesterday. Whenever I got home today, or well, even this morning, I checked this morning before I left for work, there was water in this pan again. It wasn't overflowing, but there was water in the pan. So now, okay, so where's the water coming from? And this is kind of where we come back to the air conditioning thing. So this is our pressure release line here. And I know this vent's outside on the other side of the kitchen. So I know where that goes. The air conditioner drain is on that side of the house. So where's this drain? So I figured, well, I gotta pull this cover off anyway. I need to get under there and see how much water I got down there, see if I can get that cleaned out. So let's see what's down there, see where that goes. So this is where it gets interesting. And you start figuring out, this is some stuff that you get with an old house. You get a lot of DIY people that don't know what the hell they're doing. And I'm going to say this is DIY, I hope. I hope a professional didn't do this. So, here's what we got. We got drain line. By the way, I cut that. We'll get to that in a minute. This is the drain line for that pan. There's our pressure line. Pressure release line is back there in the corner. We got our air conditioner. If you look, this line connects to our air conditioner drain line. Then it comes over, and it's going to be hard to see. That's a water hose there. It goes down the foundation. I know this drains out by the condenser outside on the side of the house. Why they used a water hose here instead of pipe, I have no clue. That's stupid. Don't do that. That's probably kinked here where it comes out of the concrete. And they backfilled it with a bunch of foam in there too, by the way. So eventually I'm going to have to replace that. I'll probably use PEX. I believe I'm saying that right. Which is basically, it's stiff tubing. It's flexible, but it's less likely to kink than a water hose. And water hose will collapse over time. PEX is designed for stuff, I'm assuming that was replaced at some point for some reason. And they just pulled a water hose through the old system. I'm hoping what I'll end up being able to do is detach that and tie a rope to it, go to the outside of the house, and hopefully I can get to it and pull it through to the outside, or maybe pull it from in here and have a rope or something tied on the outside. Because I gotta have something ran through there so that I can tie and pull the PEX line through so that I can attach to here and do that correctly. That doesn't have to be done right this second, hopefully. Especially, I mean, winter's coming, so really the air conditioner won't be an issue. We won't use that during the winter. So what was happening is that line is clogged or kinked or something. So the condensation, the air conditioner has, it's a new air conditioner, was again installed when we bought the house, so it's 8 months old. So it has a float sensor on that line. So whenever it gets clogged up, condensation builds up, that float sensor goes up, it tells the air conditioner, hey, condensation line is clogged, stop working. So it turns off your air conditioner so you don't overflow. Specifically for this reason here. This should never have been connected to that same line. It should have its own line. The reason being, because that float sensor is way up there, the air conditioner, it's about 3 feet higher. So what's happening is the water will go path the least resistance. It's coming. There's no resistance here. So it comes that way. And it's overflowing out of there. So my air conditioner is causing the water leak that is causing hot water problems. Has nothing to do with the hot water heater. It's actually my air conditioner that's the problem. That's pretty crazy. It's not exactly what I was expecting to find, but it makes sense now. So I cut it here, and it's been raining the last couple days, so it's pretty humid. So we're getting a lot of water. I mean, this is about a gallon. This is a gallon, so we're already filled up to here. This is about 45 minutes worth of condensation. That's a lot of condensation. So that explains where all the water's coming from. So for now, I just cut that line, let it drain into here rather than draining up there. So I did that, and then I vacuumed all the water out again. It's been, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes. See a little bit of water there that's just seeping out from underneath the hot water heater. So I turned it on. Air conditioner just kicked on again. And y'all saw at the beginning of the video, it just finished warming up the water and kicked off. And it has not filled up any extra water. That was there after I stopped vacuuming. So there's no extra hot water, about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. So, yeah. So just because you have water overflowing everywhere doesn't necessarily mean that you have a hot water heater issue. You may have an air conditioner issue. So, it's a good thing too, because this thing, it's under warranty. So in the long run, it would cost me nothing to replace it, because it's full warranty for a year. It's got a 6-year warranty that covers parts, where it's 5 years parts, 1 year full warranty. So for 1 year, they'll even pay for labor to replace it. I can replace it myself, but I think for the warranty it has to be professionally replaced. I know how to replace them. Done it before at work several times. But like I said, I think the warranty requires it to be professionally done. So it wouldn't have cost me anything to have it replaced, except for the fact that I think you have to pay out of pocket to have it done, and then the company reimburses you for the cost. That would suck, because I don't have $800 to have a professional plumber replace this. Because I believe I'd have to pay for a new hot water heater, possibly, and pay for the labor for the plumber. That's about $800. I know my plumber at work said he'd cut me a deal. It'd be about $300 in labor. I don't have that right now, so I'm really glad that I actually do not have any problems with this hot water heater. So yeah, before y'all go ripping out y'all's hot water heater, do a little investigation first. You may not have any problems with your hot water heater. So, and what I think happened, so I did run out of hot water, so the hot water heater was shut off. I think one of two things happened with that. Why did the hot water heater go off? I don't know for sure, because I've never taken one of these apart, so I believe it's one of two things. Either there's a sensor down here on the bottom that detects the water and said, oh hey, there's water here, turn off, so that they run out of hot water, and when they run out of hot water they'll come to look and see what's going on. So it's either that. I don't really think that's what happened. I don't think it actually has a sensor. It's a possibility though. What I actually think happened is if this is gas, hot water heater, so it has to have air for the flame. Fire doesn't burn without oxygen. So you got a vent here, and you got a vent here where the air goes in. Your fire is right about here, you know, back there, but it's at this level, so you see the height here. I think that inside chamber, I think the air intake is actually way down here somewhere. So I think what actually happened is the water got up high enough to where it blocked that air intake, so the flame could not get air, and it suffocated. So it killed the pilot light and everything. And what happens when the pilot light goes out, there's a little metal rod inside here that your pilot light heats up. And so there's no electricity to this. You can see, oh look, there's electricity. No, this does not plug in. It makes its own electricity from the pilot light. There's a little rod that goes in, and the pilot light heats up that rod, which makes a little bit of electricity just by heating that rod. And that's what powers this. So what happens is when the pilot light goes out, that rod gets cooled off, and then it closes up and turns off the gas to your pilot light. So when your pilot light goes out, you're not still feeding gas into there. So that's a safety feature that, in this case, was actually a very good thing. Otherwise, this would have been full of gas. slow amount of gas, but over time, I don't know how long it was off. You know, it could have built up and been a real issue. So that's probably what happened. Alright, well, see y'all later.